Hello everyone. Up until just over a year ago, the Sirens were Azur Lane's main antagonists. But now, the long hinted at true threat has been revealed, and the Siren War as we know it is nearing its conclusion. With this radical shift in the game state, we must ask, with the Sirens potentially joining the good guys, girls, can they truly be redeemed for their actions? Let's take a look. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The Sirens' crime is genocide. Genocide and warmongering on an almost cartoonish level. We don't know how long they've been invading other branches, inciting global conflicts, and then pruning the branch when they're done, but it's implied to have been a very long time. We don't know how many times they've wiped out humanity, but if I was to make a wild guess, at least a dozen. But it's probably more based on the number of metas. I'm going to veer off into speculation here, but currently there are 37 playable metas. We know not all of them are from different timelines, there's a good handful from the Alpha timeline and a couple from ours. But here's the thing, those are the metas that escaped. It wouldn't surprise me if some timelines didn't have any survivors. It also wouldn't surprise me if they stripped mined branches to sustain their war machine. City-sized mainframes, seemingly endless waves of mass-produced ships, humanoid or otherwise, duplicate bodies for the notable members, mirror sea generators, weather manipulators. All of this and more takes resources to build, and the Sirens can't just magic those up. Probably. So I'm going to add environmental desolation to their list of crimes, even if that was already implied. Now for the why. Well, it's because they lost. The X defeated humanity and Dr. Alce chose to bet on the potential of Dr. Anzeal's shipgirls, sending the Sirens to other branches to attempt to awaken that potential, so they could become strong enough to finish the job. But there is one question that needs to be asked here, and hear me out. Are the X actively malicious? Cubes draw energy from a higher dimensional space, and it's likely the Cube Information Network stores its data there too, allowing it to be accessed across timelines. The X are pretty higher dimension from my point of view. Have we been stealing from them this entire time? Are they just retaliating against people stealing their resources and space to host a database? And if they aren't normally hostile, then all the biggest monsters in hell need to get together to give Oust a crown, because holy shit! Also, how does this conflict end if that's the case? Do all our girls just have to give up their lives to make it end? In addition to destroying all cube-based technology? Assuming the X are actually evil, and let's be honest, they probably are, things get a little more complicated. In humanity's situation, what do you even do? You've got your collective shit together in the face of an existential threat and threw everything you've got at it. Shipgirls, far stronger than the ones we're familiar with, the full might of the Sirens including the Arbiters, and massively powerful flying warships a kilometre long. Such massive military power with tools like gravity manipulation and conceptual erasure at their disposal, and they still lost. The Awakening theory was the only straw they had left to grasp to defeat this threat to potentially all creation. The only option left was to either fade out and die or become monsters, killers of billions, to kill other monsters, potential killers of trillions, to one day pass the baton onto the ones who could put an end to this nightmare. And just in case this wasn't complicated enough, how much agency do the Sirens actually have in the matter? After all, the Sirens are just artificial intelligences, inhabiting data centers and mechanical bodies. Are they doing this because they want to fulfill their father's final orders? Are they even capable of refusing such an order? Were they reprogrammed to carry out this task in spite of their feelings on the matter? This is largely speculation on my part, but it's something to think about. So let's take a look at the best case scenario. The The X are monsters that must be stopped for the safety of all life across all timelines. The Sirens didn't want to do this, but were reprogrammed to carry out this mission, and have gone through only a few timelines before arriving at Test Site Beta, keeping the loss of life in the double-digit billions. This is the one, the timeline that will put an end to the X's menace. In the end, they invaded, sparked brutal wars, and then disposed of billions, but ended up saving the lives of unfathomably more by ending the X. Can they be redeemed here? In this case, maybe? Let me be clear, they gotta die. There is far too much blood on their hands for them to just walk away after all is said and done, even if they were forced into shedding it. They've either got to make the sacrifice play or make every other timeline make goddamn utopia with their technology to atone for their crimes. Otherwise, I don't think it's possible. I know people's opinions on the Sirens vary from if evil, why hot, to the only good siren is a dead siren. But in any of the worst permutations of this scenario, how do you wipe away that much red? Their ledger isn't just overflowing, it's been lost to it. They entered the world multiple times over in their twisted experiments, killing so many that the ends cannot possibly justify the means. Doubly so if they X aren't malicious. Countless genocides just for revenge against the people you've been stealing from. Else would be the biggest monster to ever exist in that case. If it was revenge, or the Sirens' casualties are really that high, or they went along with it willingly, I don't think they can see redemption outside of maybe the whole utopia thing. Death is too good for them. That was a heavy one, huh? I know quite a bit of this is speculation, and if any of that contradicts established canon, do let me know. But now I open the floor to you. Do you think that despite everything they can be redeemed for their actions? Let's get the discussion going. And now that it is, I'm gonna leave you here. Fair winds and following seas.